Radar just got a little something that kind of got my attention here. Looking southwest of the Woodville area there, seeing a little something show up on the correlation scan there. So wanted to see if anybody had any reports on anything, but little area there just southwest of Woodville kind of grabbed my attention there, and I am seeing it on the correlation scan too. So just wanted to mention, go live here. There could be some gusty winds, of course, entering into the northwest portion there in Marshall County. And I'm also keeping an eye on that little area there that's showing up just a little strange, just a little bit strange looking there on the scan, on the radar. So I wanted to go live here and track these storms. Now, I'm not immediately seeing anything, but, it did kind of grab my attention there on the scan. So looking at it with several different scans here. Gonna look at it on the correlation again, see if it does show something up right there, which is kind of odd. There is some kind of little indication of some debris or something going on right there. And that's going to be, which there's not a lot, of wind direction change right there, which is kind of weird. But there is a little bit of a directional change there in the wind. That's going to be southwest of Woodville, so just kind of keeping an eye on that area there. Starting to see a little bit more now show up on the scan. It's really hard to tell, but what's going on right there. Not seeing a classic, signature of what you would call, tornadic or anything like that. I'm looking at several different scans here. But yeah, at most some gusty winds there. And we'll take another look at it on the reflectivity here, as you never know what these storms are going to try to do these days. Yeah, so I did see a little bit of a hail signature there very briefly, but now that's gone. So yeah, not seeing it now. So not sure what all that was about, but that was pretty interesting anyway. So I just wanted to go live on that. Let everybody know we are tracking the storms. Not seeing anything, severe at the moment. I was just kind of intrigued by that one little area there, but not seeing nothing now other than some potential for some gusty winds. Going to check another scan here just to be on the safe side. So yeah, other than some wind and rain, that's really all I'm seeing at the moment with this other scan here. But still watching it as it moves on across the area. It's now starting to enter into northeast Alabama, of course, around Grant. Could be getting some gusty winds there. Woodville area is passing you right now, moving toward a spell there in Jackson County. Some gusty winds, particularly along this little area here, though, that I've been watching for just a few minutes. Particularly around the Woodville area, moving off to the east there. Just watching that little area. Could be some gusty winds along that. Of course, there will be gusty winds along this system as it does move across. Looks like the highest right now in that area there. So we're just keeping an eye on it. Not seeing nothing too concerning. But I was a little bit interested in that one little signature there that showed up. Wanted to make sure it wasn't a false, signal, because that can happen. But it's showing up even on this scan here. So particularly right in that area there. That was earlier. Just want to look back at it again. Stop the radar and back it up a little bit. So right there is when we had that signature show up. Yeah, on two different signatures there. So that's a bit odd. I'm not gonna lie. It is a little bit odd there. So maybe somebody else was looking at that too. That is a little bit odd because this usually shows debris. And we had a kind of an odd looking signature there on the reflectivity and on the correlation coefficient, which would show debris or stuff like that being lofted, so there could have been something trying to just briefly get spinning up there. Get a little bit of debris going up there. My personal opinion with that, so that's a little bit odd. That was earlier though, but not seeing that anymore. So really, even on the reflectivity or the velocity, it wasn't showing enough, rotation in there to really spin anything up. That's why I was kind of confused by the signature there. So could be some high winds in that area that could have just stirred up some stuff. So that's what I'm kind of thinking at this point. Not looking too bad on the radar. Just still tracking these storms as they move on into DeKalb County. Slowly moving in. We're going to keep tracking them until, of course, they're moving on through. Hello, Mrs. Ann. Hope you're doing well. Just saw something on radar there, kind of grabbed my attention a bit, so went live just to start tracking. So I'm going to try a different velocity scan really quick and see if it shows anything different. Hopefully it don't crash my system, and it's going to, so bear with me. We'll have to open all that back up again. So yeah, storms are starting to weaken out a good bit now as they're moving on into our area, but still seeing some heavier stuff up here around the Woodville area, actually just to the east of Woodville there. Kind of interested to know what Huntsville's opinion was on that little area down here earlier, but was so quick and really didn't have much of a signal, just a signature on the radar there, which is just kind of weird looking, I guess. Kind of reminded me of something quickly, a quick spin up of some kind, but even then the velocity signature just didn't look right, but it's kind of strange. So we do have some gusty winds now going through Dutton section, Langston area, Grant. It's all passing off to the southeast. We do have some wind pattern changes going on here. I've noticed that. That's with that same area that just came across to the northwest there that grabbed my attention. So I'm watching that little area because there is a little bit of a change in direction with the wind speed there. So watching that. Other than that, there is some gusty winds associated with it now entering into the, about to enter into the far northwest portion of DeKalb County there. Still watching in Jackson County as well, some gusty winds, mainly anywhere from, I'm going to say Pisgah, southwest, all the way to potentially Guntersville and Marshall County. So pretty good little line there coming across. So I'll switch my tools back out again. So far, everything looking pretty good on the radar there. We got some shower thunderstorm activity still around the Woodville area, seeing some lightning markers show up. But other than that, everything is, kind of weakened out a bit. But that was still an interesting little signature on radar there. I hadn't seen that in a little while. It was more than likely nothing, but you just can't never tell these days. It pays to, pay attention. Thank you, Mike. Hope you're doing good. Yeah, I just saw something on radar looked a little bit odd, so decided to go live to track anyway. We've seen a lot of spin ups happen over here in the past, so but I can particularly show you what kind of grabbed my attention, and this was earlier. So let me back it way up. I think it was at this point here that kind of grabbed my attention there. Not just because of that. I mean, that looks just like a little, maybe a little hell marker kind of. It does look a little bit suspicious, I won't lie. That's why it grabbed my attention. But this right here is what really grabbed my attention, was seeing the, usually this is a sign of debris being wafted up. And then, well, we have that little signature on the on the reflectivity. And then we also have it on the correlation, so that was really strange there. To say the least. I mean, that would kind of be interesting, to find out. That was kind of strange looking there, but by the reflectivity scan, or not reflectivity, the velocity, it didn't look like that big of a deal. So it was kind of interesting, though. Yeah, it's going to put it right in there, and there's just nothing really lines up other than what we just saw there on the radar. So probably just a little area of some gusty winds pulled some debris up or something is what I'm thinking. If I can get this tool to go off, that would be better. Wind and rain just woke you up in Pisgah. Yeah, it's pretty windy, that's for sure, ahead of the line there. And we do have another line coming in tomorrow night. But yeah, typically, honestly, if the velocity scan would have showed, what looked like to be rotation in there, I would have said that would have been a spin up. But because the correlation was showing it, radar was showing it, but it didn't add up on the velocity scan, and it should have added up on the velocity scan too. So, and it didn't. So, probably just a little area of some gusty winds that pulled just enough dust and stuff up for the radar to pick it up, made it look a little bit strange. So, but so far we're continuing to weaken out as they move in, thankfully. So other than some gusty winds, I'm not seeing anything too bad. We'll go back to the reflectivity here. Just some gusty winds along that, especially across this little area here. Looks like those winds are entering into Guntersville, and of course I got to go a little bit further up with that. There could be some gusty winds along up in Scottsboro, which looks like, according to the radar, there probably is. Be moving into the Sylvania, Fife, Rainsville, Henniger area shortly. Some gusty winds, maybe 20 to 30 miles per hour across that main line. You could see some gusts a little bit higher than that, but it's really looking weak. So we pretty much have this pocket of some gusty winds right in here. I mean, it does extend a little bit further up than that, but really showing up here. And I imagine it's not showing up very strongly. Yeah, like 19 miles per hour it shows there. Alrighty, everybody. Wanted to go live update again. Not seeing anything severe at the moment or anything like that. So again, just wanted to update you, let you know I am watching it. And going to keep watching it till it moves on through here. So other than that, that's all I have got. Wanted to update everybody. Let's see, started to thunder here. Alright, Teresa Brown, appreciate that. Well, thanks everybody for watching. I'm going to get on off here. I'll keep updating everybody. You know, of course, if I see anything strange, I'll always let everybody know. I'm not seeing that at this time, so that's some good news there. Pretty much this is all we expect. We don't expect any severe weather at all. Just some thunder, lightning, and wind, rain. Pretty much all that we're expecting out of it. There could be a stronger, maybe some stronger winds in this as it passes. But that's about it. Pretty much what you got is what you're going to get. So that's about it. My concern was with that one little signature that showed up there. Just very briefly, again, I was watching it to see if it showed up on more than one scan. So it didn't show up on more than one scan, but it was still kind of interesting enough to say, let's go live. Could be some gusty winds in there and that. So what are you guys seeing where you're at? Any high winds or anything, or is it just kind of rainy, windy? So I could say, though, if you're in Powell, Sylvania, you're about to get some gusty winds. Langston section, Dutton, you probably have already got those gusty winds. Looking like Rainsville, Fife, Powell, Sylvania, Henniger, all them in line, and then Lakeview also in line. And I'm still keeping my eye on this area where the winds are a little bit, they're in a different direction here. I'm keeping an eye on that spot. But yeah, the reflectivity or nothing, really adds up with much other than some high gusty winds. And I do got to refresh on radars. It's been quite a while since we've had storms, so I got to retrain my eyes what to look for and what not to look for and all that stuff. It takes just a minute to catch back up after it's been a good while since we've had storms. Wind and heavy rain. All right, Mike. I know it's a pretty long line there. There's going to be some, gusty winds along the whole line, so it's going to be pretty windy. Not a problem, Bradley. Thank you. And yeah, it was warm tonight. Sure was for this time of year. It's 58 degrees. The humidity is 97%. That's at 2 a.m. But yeah, we got these little lines coming in. Even though we're not expecting nothing, I like to pay attention, to the areas that start to, show any signs of, rotating whatsoever. Most of the time it doesn't do anything. But every now and then, we have a habit, especially with the terrain, of stuff being, developing unexpectedly. Most of the time, it's only with one radar scan, and it's gone after that. So just have to kind of keep an eye on that, even though we're not, expecting anything to happen at all. But yeah, to kind of explain, what I'm looking at here is we've got winds going toward and away from the radar, particularly the storm relative velocity. It takes off the storm motion, and gives you a little clearer look. But we have winds going in that direction, and we have winds going in this direction. So basically, that's what you're seeing right here with this big area of red and green. It's really close to each other there, and I'm not looking at anything too concerning at the moment, other than some gusty winds right in there. But yeah, that's pretty much what you're looking at when you're looking at those different colors. You got wind going toward and away, and when you get little pockets really close together, sometimes, if the conditions are right, they can rotate. Specifically, if that makes any sense there. Don't pay attention to these here, but particularly those two little ones there. You can see how close those two are together, but they're not, anything intense at the moment enough to really do anything at all. So basically what you're seeing is gusty winds. There is a wind direction change, but everything's behaving with it pretty much. No problem, Mike. Glad I can do it. Hope you're doing well. Hadn't heard from you in a little while. I hear you guys are going digital pretty soon. Actually, next year. Going digital means no more analog communications. Everybody's going up to that fancy digital stuff. You'd have to have a really expensive digital scanner to pick that up. I'm looking forward to that. Not really. More money. But the good news is, though, it would help with communication across the area, and I know it's pretty bad. especially on the analog stuff, which that's what our systems are, is analog, and it can be pretty tricky sometimes when you're out and about, especially around our area with all these trees. But alrighty, thanks for watching, everybody. I'm gonna try to get ready to wrap it up. That's looking just fine for Scottsboro. Just some heavy rain, wind. The main line is actually passing through like right now, so you're gonna have gusty winds with it, heavy rain, maybe some lightning, maybe some thunder. I'm not even really seeing much lightning markers show up at all, so um, it is doing what it's supposed to do, and I'm hearing a little rain and thunder in Grove Oak. So yeah, there is probably still some embedded thunderstorms in there. Nothing severe, with it, and so far at this point, nothing has been severe. So don't expect it to be severe. So that being said, I'm going to get ready to wrap it up here and lay down, enjoy the rain as it moves through, of course. You hate your Kenwood. Oh, man. Well, I admit I got a lot of Kenwoods. I like them, but they don't do as good as they could. Let's put it that way. I don't know I don't know much about the digital stuff. That's something I have not got into yet, is the digital communications. But yeah, I hear digital is like way better than analog, so I have no clue. I just hope they come out with a cheaper version of a digital scanner, because I've looked up some of the cheap scanners and they're like $400. I'm just like, well, yeah, good luck with that. Fort Payne will be getting rain here in a little while. It's not quite into Fort Payne yet. It's actually moving into Rainsville right now. Some of the gusty winds and stuff moving through there. But yeah, you will get some rain and wind and maybe some thunder and lightning here pretty shortly. But yeah, Mike, until you get another Kenwood, let me recommend getting maybe a longer VHF antenna, because those stock antennas on those Kenwoods are terrible about going bad. Just saying, I've already burned one of them up because the antenna went bad on it and I didn't know it. So yeah, if you're having bad communication problems with dispatch, that's probably got a lot to do with it. The antenna's either bad or your location's bad, one of the two. But all right, y'all take care, Mike. You take care. Everybody on, take care. Appreciate you watching. Have a great night, and we'll see you on the next one. Take care, everybody.